me and follows me. Isn't that cool? Super Dave here with another review. And this time I broke bad, went to BigBadToyStore.com and got another Thundercat action figure, which was made by Mattel's classic line, and this is Jackleman. I had purchased Lion-O about a year ago and I loved him, but he was the only one I planned to get because I felt like he would go well with the Masters of the Universe storyline. I plan on including him in my Masters of the Universe story movies, diorama movies, when we get to He-Man, largely due to the comic books. There's a comic book series about He-Man and Lion-O from Thundercats working together, or actually their teams working together. Awesome comic book line. I would highly recommend reading those. You can get them in the Masters of the Universe Omnibus right now, on sale on Amazon for $91 and some change, which has all the comic books, Masters of the Universe, and that line with them working with Thundercats. Loved the Thundercats in the 80s. Was a bigger fan of Masters of the Universe, and then I grew up a little bit, a couple of years, and became like 10 and became a G.I. Joe fan. Still have a lot of my G.I. Joes, but now since the Masters of the Universe classics and everything, that's been what I've been about. It's just awesome stuff. So let's break this open and look at our Jackleman. I've seen some pictures of him on YouTube, or some videos of him in some pictures, photography, diorama pictures. I forget who it was. Somebody had him in the woods. It was really cool. So I wanted to check him out. This is the package that the Thundercats classics were in. You see, of course, the Lion-O's eyes and the Sword of Omen, with the eye not quite fully formed because he's doing that sight beyond sight. And then you've got the sword reflection as you see it there in the lighting that goes up, and then you can see through that to the action figure at hand. And we've of course got some beautiful artwork, and there's a bio if you would like to look at that. But there's just some awesome stuff going on here, and I just think this Jackleman is a really neat figure. I just think he's going to be cool. I love the details. So let's break him open and check him out. All right, so here he is out of the box, and he's a very handsome looking figure. The colors go very well together. A great looking action figure. You can see all the texture and the detail in his fur and his face, and we'll look at that a little closer when we go over to the King Grayskull cave. But let's look at some of his accessories that he comes with. First of all, Jackleman does come with some other holding type hands, which have the hinge ability right there, and then of course when you peg them in, they'll twist. But he can hold with these. But the ones that he comes with in the package are not much different from that. Matter of fact, I don't see very much difference at all, except for maybe they're a little bit more clenched, the ones that he comes with, compared to the alternate hand. It looks almost identical. Maybe this one's a little bit more closed here, and whereas this one's a little bit more open compared to that one. It is, I think they're just kind of swapped, alternating, so you can have one a little bit more open, and you might could kind of, like these that are not as clenched, you could probably heat that up and kind of have it coming out a little bit more. But they're individual. They're not webbed together at all. They're kind of individual, so that's pretty cool. There's a lot of detail there. I don't know if you can see that up close, but there's the fingernails. I mean, just a really good detail, the fur. But so extra pair of hands, not a big impressive thing because there's not much difference in the two. But another thing that he comes with is really cool club, and that's a pretty neat instrument weapon. It's got a horn on it. It looks like it's a textured wood with resin and swirls in the woodwork. Really neat club. It's a pretty solid piece. It's not too soft and not too hard. It's not going to limp over, or the weight of it from the top of it, it doesn't really, you see, it doesn't really wobble much. It's a pretty solid club. So that's pretty nice. And then he comes with this awesome long axe with a nice long handle, with a very nice silver paint apps on that blade, with some worn edges and some like it would be, you know, almost in caveman times, where it was just beaten out under heat, and some texturing there. So it's just a really nice wood looking handle with that fixtured medieval almost type blade structure. So we're going to look at Jackleman's articulation and get a little closer look at him as a character and compare him to some others. So let's go over to King Grayskull's cave and check him out. Come with me. All right, so over here at the King Grayskull cave, King Grayskull's over there busy working on some things, and with a nice little beverage. He's got sweet tea. All right, so here's Jackleman, and he's looking great. He's not that nervous. There's a truce right now where Jackleman is supposed to be technically in, as far as the mutants in Thundercats, he is supposed to be a bad guy. But he's just a really sharp looking figure in action figure form, I think. I was not a big fan of Jackleman in the cartoon, especially not that frog looking guy. But they didn't make him. They made Jackleman, and I think they saw that he translated better in action figure form than the frog guy. I forget his name. But some of y'all remember. I'll put a picture up right there. There you go. All right. But anyway, let's take a look at Jackleman a little closer here. First thing I want to notice is his eyes. He has got some amazing eyes going on here. I mean, these eyes are stunning. Just a great job on those eyes. They're just piercing. Well done interpretation, and just the look. He could stare a hole in you. It just looks great. I think it actually looks better in person than it translates even on the camera. But let's look at articulation. First thing, we have the head, and he can look up with the help of the ab crunch back there. He can kind of look up there like that, and he can look down just a little bit. Again, not a lot of motion in the head on that ball joint, but with the help of the ab crunch feature, you can get a little bit of a downward look there, but not much. Of course, side to side, and hardly any pivot. Now, one of the reasons is because of this neck with the fur area. If you pop off that head, you actually have a solid piece, if you can see that here, that is going, there's the neck area, and that goes down, and see you have the strap here, and we're not going to take that off, but it's got the shoulder armor there, the fur on this side, the strap, the leather. Look at the leather detail. It looks leather there. It looks like a leather. It's got a good, and it's a really nice feel. It's not too soft, but not too hard. It's a nice flexible material. Then even the black has leather linings in it that looks like leather. This looks metal, like a matte finish metal with the bolts. And then this is a really nice job on that gem, or that burgundy looking red there in the middle of his chest. So good job with that. Everything looks nice, but the head is limited by range of motion, simply because, all right, pop that back on there, just because of the that armor and that solid piece there. So then you have the arms, and that's restricted a little bit by the armor, but it can go about that much. And then of course you got bicep, well, can't see it because of the, yeah, you got bicep swivel, and the shoulder goes 360. You got single jointed elbow. You've got wrist. You have wrist articulation and swivel, and of course, like we shared earlier, you can pop those out. They're a little tough to get out of there. And then you can pop in the other hand right here. Ooh, they're a little bit tough. Oh, look at there. There's some little defect, some stuff there going on. But looks like it actually may have been glued to mine a little bit. Isn't that wild? So that may have been a little bit of a defect on mine. But they might have to actually heat. Now it pops back in. Let's say you might have to heat those up. And it popped in fine that way. And you see another, again, the detail on the hands. You got the fur, And this gauntlet is not removable. I was wondering to see if that was removable. That gauntlet stays there. It's got almost like a cheetah print on it, but that is not removable. Of course, the same thing on this side. This one's not, this is a little bit more flexible, it feels like. His range of motion is a little better on that side. Then bicep swivel, again wrist, and this one can pop off. And of course you have another hand that you could include there. Then you've got ab crunch, really good. Now this is, it's a little loose. You can see there's a little bit of flop there, but it's not too bad that you can't get poses. Of course you got waist swivel. You got these nice ball jointed legs with the thigh swivel here. Do a full split. You can get in any position there. This is a little bit the loincloth area with a belt around it that's got a leather look, and then this green loincloth type material. It's a little bit restrictive. It kind of points outward there, but you can get a full seated position, and then you can go back about that much forward. The swivel there, also the shin cut or boot cut there kind of area. Really nice feet. Check out these feet on Jackleman. He can go up and down, and check this out. Yes, you got full pivot. Really good joints on this figure. Very tight. Everything's really nice and solid. Nice detail. Nice paint apps all the way in the back. The shorter loincloth in the back here, and fur on the calves here. Nice detail on the back here. You see this fur comes all the way down from the back of his head down here in that solid piece that we were removing, or we were showing earlier with the armor and the fur here. All that's one piece under the head when you pop the head off. Now that probably could come off, but I'm not going to try to take that off because I don't really see any need to. You've got to have this neck part for this head to look right, that fur around in the back. But that's really, look at the detail back there. Isn't that nice? It's kind of an orange. It's not as shiny in person as it is under these lights, but there's definitely a matte finish here in person. But you can see under these lights, studio lights, is a little bit of a shine. But just an all-around great figure. Again, the shin cut, and the same thing on this side. And a single jointed knee, waist swivel. So he's got everything that you'd need to get some good poses. So let's go ahead and put his club in this hand here. This is kind of a little bit loose. You might have to have this other hand. Let's go ahead and pop that one back off. Oop, pop that one back off and pop this one back on. That has a little bit more of the enclosed hand. And see, that's almost tailor-made for that club. You can tell that. It's almost tailor-made for that club right there. Once you get him, yeah, once you get those locked into his fingers. Especially getting that that point going in the right direction. Excellent job. That looks good. So I think this figure looks great. You're going to be able to get some good poses with him. So you got that club, and then you also have, voila, this nice, again, this nice axe handle. So you're going to be able to put that in his hands, give him the ability to get some cool looking shots ready to go after Lion-O. And we'll go ahead and pose him out here just a little bit using that foot pivot ability. There we go. Check it out. Very nice, very nice. Very nice indeed. Now, just to show a comparison to some other figures, and this may stir up King Grayskull a little bit, but here's him beside a Masters of the Universe Snake Man, one of the infantry type Snake Men, just a regular guard, you know, a soldier, foot soldier Snake Man. All right, let's go ahead and do a sizing up here. Look at him. He is about just below 7.5 inches tall, and so that's pretty cool. about in the same range as your typical Masters of the Universe and a lot of your 1/12 scale figures, so to speak, in these lines. So not too off track there. So now let's look at another very popular figure in this line, of course, and that is Lion-O, who is ready to come on alongside here. They're technically enemies, but you can see that he looks like he's actually, based on that picture right there, just a tad taller than he could actually go to be said just to be a tad, maybe just a hair taller, not much, probably because of that neck region and the torso, the height of the torso. But Lion-O's in a pretty good scale compared to that. He's got his scabbard claw with the sword of Omen that's tucked away inside there, which is really neat. You can pull that out of the sheath there. It actually shows the eye. I love that detail. And of course, if he says Thundercats, 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 ho! And that sword will grow. And then you can have the full sword there. And then he can do sight beyond sight with his sword. Kind of can get a good pose there of that. See if we can get that almost, not quite perfect, but you can kind of get the general idea, the gist of that there. So it's really cool. And same articulation on this guy, biceps swivel, shoulders. He's got a lot better neck. You don't have much tilting, but up and down motion, side to side, ab crunch. His same legs that he's not able to go forward as much as Jackleman. These shorts kind of hinder that, but single jointed knees, boot cut, and those really good ankle pivoting feet. Really good look on him. Of course, this scabbard claw can come off, and you can put his regular hand on there, and then you can put this one that's actually got just the butt of the sword of Omen coming out of it, and snap that onto his side right here, which is a nice touch, kind of like a little holster area. But we're not going to mess with that right now. I like having the scabbard claw shield on his arm. I think that looks good. And then too, you can still display that sword of Omen, push it right into that sheath area on that. Claw's looking cool there, I think. I love that. Love posing him out. One of the things I do with my Lion-O, just mention this right quick, I know we're on Jackleman, but I never did a review on Lion-O, is I use this cape off of one of the Marvel Legends figures, and I think he looks pretty cool sporting that cape. Might use him when I'm doing my movies, my diorama movies. I may use him in this kind of as he's growing up and become a little bit more mature and working with He-Man. May use that to kind of symbolize the authority look of Lion-O. I think that's pretty cool looking. But that's Jackleman. Great look there. Just as another comparison, here is Lizard Man beside Jackleman with his sword. And I know this might make King Grayskull kind of nervous bringing him in here, but there is the Mumra, the mummified version, the small mummified version before he transforms into Mumra the Ever-Living. There he is beside him, which he always gave the bad guys like Jackleman a hard time, of course, ordering them around. And then one of King Grayskull's councilmen, Sir Laserlot. Did you love it? Love that name. Sir Laserlot. Bring him in here. King Grayskull's very interested in that, and Grayskull's like, Sir Laserlot, I need your aid. I need your assistance. Can you please escort this annoying Jackleman out of my cave so I can get some work done today? So they're really on top of things here. But that's a look at Jackleman. Thank you for checking us out. God bless you. We'll see you next time. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this. Also the subscribe button if you want to be a member of King Grayskull and He-Man the Masters of the Universe stories and our reviews that we do of other action figures as well. Also hit that bell if you want to be notified when I do a new video. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate each one of you, and happy collecting. Let's enjoy action figures.